Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome back to another Real Madrid review. Real Madrid 3, Pachuca 1. Real Madrid get their first win of this Club World Cup tournament. A big win because the headlines going into this game were, about this possibility that Real Madrid, you know, not necessarily could get knocked out of this group, but might not finish top, which is a little bit of a I'm not gonna say disgrace because it sounds kind of bad, but it is kind of along those lines, right? Um, yeah, Real Madrid just needed to get the win. The most important thing coming into this game was to get the win. We knew that the performances were going to improve. Like I said in the preview, improvements will be seen, and we did see the improvement, but we are not at that 100% yet. We are nowhere near that yet. We're probably 60, 70%, maybe lesser. Some would argue. But I look at this team, I look at this squad, and I look at the way they play. In this game specifically, let's take away the Al Hilal game. I am still seeing problems. Now, I have seen positives come out of this game, I have seen negatives as well. So, what are some of the negatives? I think we will just get the negatives out of the way, right? What we need in this squad right now, we need to invest in the summer window when the Club World Cup ends. I don't know who makes the decisions, if it's Florentino Perez, whether it's the board, but whoever is the person who is responsible for the decision making, we need a creative, controlling midfielder. Okay? And what I mean by that is not just a creative attacking midfielder, right? I don't want that. We have Bellingham. Now, I'm not saying he is a necessarily creative player, but he can do that role, as we saw in this game. We need someone who can do something that no one in this squad can do very well. Ceballos can do a little bit, I would argue, but if you look at the midfielder we have, Bellingham, Valverde, Camavinga, Chouameni, even Arregula if he plays in the midfield when Mastantuono comes in, I can tell you safely that they are physical, they are quick, they are offensive, like Bellingham. They are tall, physical, but they are not controlling the game, the tempo. Where is Toni Kroos? Right? Where is that player? And I don't know if we can, realistically get a Vitinha or a Stiller from Stuttgart, but it might not need to be them too, because there are many types of players like them out there. But we need that kind of midfielder, a player who can control the tempo of the game, control the pace, calm things down, because we don't want to be playing basketball games, right? We saw that the amount of we go on the attack, everyone goes forward, and then when we go back, we are caught on the counter, and then we push forward again, we counter, and then it's just very back and forth. That is not going to work out when you play strong teams who are strong defensively and you can't control the middle of the park compared to them. Barcelona have got Pedri. Barcelona have got Pedri, who can control the game. PSG have Vitinha. You know, Man City, they've got a couple of players in there as well. They don't. They have got Rodri, who as a deep playmaker and defensive midfielder, does the job. You look at Real Madrid, we are missing that controlling the tempo type of game player, and we need that. We need that player. I'm also looking at defensively again. I thought Fran Garcia played very well. To be honest, he contributed a lot in the attacks, but defensively, yeah. I do believe Fran Garcia will be the backup now. I don't see a world we get Mendy as the backup and Mendy staying, to be honest. But who knows, right? Um, and yeah, like we said, the backup striker. We'll talk about Gonzalo Garcia because I thought he played amazing as well. Um, I thought we saw some very good performances out there from certain players, and we'll talk about that. And the rest were not bad as well. So yeah, but that experienced backup striker for Mbappe, I think we still need. Again, bear in mind, with all due respect, this result, this performance is something that we should be looking at. Mostly the positives, also like I said, the negatives. But like I said, with all due respect, it isn't against a Man City, a Barcelona. It isn't against some of the best teams in the world yet. We will get to that stage hopefully in the knockouts, but it's not, you know, the level of opponent. Pachuca, very good side, but they aren't at that level. But they still enjoy a lot of opportunities, and that is kind of boring. Defensively, that is very boring. Um, Let me talk about the game first, and then I'll get into individual players, and then I'll talk about what needs to be improved, what I saw were mainly positives, some negatives. Raul Asensio, big talking point. The red card, was it a red card? I saw a lot of Real Madrid fans being 50-50. Some were saying it was a clear red. Some were saying it's not a red card. First of all, it wasn't offside because it was a good, smart, experienced player in Rondon who made that run, and he ensured that he was onside. That is a experienced striker for you. Very smart run. Onside, and then you get to the part where he's basically in a 1v1. Now Asensio comes from behind basically, and sort of just pulls his shirt a little. Look, I've always said this, especially in the box, but even outside the box, more so in a 1v1, as long as you give the opponent an opportunity to go down, whether it's a dive, whether it's legitimate contact, whether it's pain, whether it's just fake, it doesn't matter. What the referee sees is contact, shirt being pulled, which means a foul. Right? I'm not saying that Asensio absolutely killed Rondon with that, terrible, terrifying, shirt pull. I'm not saying that. I'm saying as long as you give the opponent a chance, a sniff at going down, and Rondon didn't go down by himself like what Vinny did against Al Hilal. His shirt did get pulled. He shouldn't be going down, but obviously he will to get a man sent off for the opponent, right? So the best outcome or the best thing to have done is just let him through. Okay, maybe he will score, maybe Courtois saves it, maybe he misses the target, but ultimately, by giving him that opportunity to go down, by presenting that to him, he will just make use of that. He's experienced, he knows that you are a young centre half who isn't that mature and experienced at this sort of situations just yet, and a simple so-called quote dive or going down like that kills the defensive structure, kills the game for Real Madrid. We ultimately won, but it would have been better with 10 men, obviously. And this belief that Real Madrid played better with 10 men than 11 men, it's not true. It really isn't. But yeah, I mean, I've always said this. I believe going down a goal, that is something to work with. You can get back in the game easier than going a man down, although it's 0-0. Because you're fighting a battle with a disadvantage. Whereas going to go down, yes, again, it's still a disadvantage, but it's not the end of the world. Yeah, I think Asensio, he just needs to, when he's back in the hotel, when he's just training, when, we get back, I just need him to calm down. I think Real Madrid fans just want him to calm down. We know how good of a player he is. He broke through last season, not even the start of last season. In the middle of October, I believe, he came in. He did very well for the 7 months that he played. He was there when we needed someone. He was always there. Although, we had so many defensive crises, injuries. But one thing you have to admit that his maturity and experience is not there yet. And Dean Huijsen is younger than him, I believe, and he's still somewhat more mature and experienced actually. So at this moment in time, and I've always said this, I would like to see Dean Huijsen and Rudiger be a duo. And I think that will take place against Salzburg and potentially into the knockouts. But I would like to see how those two play with each other, because Rudiger, one of the best centre backs in the world, Dean Huijsen, one of the best young centre backs in the world, and arguably more matured and experienced because he has played the Premier League, and we know what quality he possesses. And Asensio, yeah, I mean he's still a little bit hot-headed. He's that Sergio Ramos type, and Dean Huijsen gives me the Rafael Varane type of vibe. I'm not saying they are the same, but it is the same vibe. So I think Asensio, he's not gonna go anywhere. People, Real Madrid fans saying he should leave. That's ridiculous, by the way. We should stand with these players, just support these players. But most importantly, it's just to nurture, wrap your hands around him for Xabi Alonso, that is, and tell him, look, those mistakes are not, uncommon for youngsters, but we need to remove that from your game. We need to ensure that in order that you don't get sent off every single game, in order for you to succeed as a player at Real Madrid, you need to take that sort of aggressiveness and make it into a smart play. If you want to play aggressive, you want to play dirty, you want to be Sergio Ramos, you want to have passion, you want to be aggressive, do it in a smart way. Don't be giving out, opportunities for opponents to get you sent off. Don't be out there giving penalties to opponents for unnecessary tackles and shirt pulling and things like that. So yeah, lots to learn for Raul Asensio, but we will have to stand with him because he is one of our own. So there's that. No hard feelings there. Heads up, we move. Simple, right? Then we talk about the first goal, Jude Bellingham. His first goal, first celebration under Xabi Alonso. Great goal. Brilliant play down the left side. Gonzalo Garcia, beautiful back heel pass for Fran Garcia to be unleashed, and then Fran Garcia pulls it back for Bellingham, left-footed. Don't underestimate that finish, because not only is it on his weaker foot, it also is across the keeper, and there was a defender sort of in the way. So yeah, very very great goal actually. Very good goal. And then minutes later, again this time on good play down the right hand side. Trent was doing this quite oftenly, putting those low driven crosses into the box. The one he misplaced before, actually, when Courtois had to make the double save. Now, I will talk about Trent later on, but he was doing that multiple times. But we'll get back to that. He puts a low driven cross for Gonzalo Garcia, and that silky one touch pass into Arda Güler, who finds himself some space, very smart from Arda Güler, and then a very beautiful finish into the bottom corner. Second half, I thought Pachuca had most of the opportunities, the good ones at least, but Brahim gets the ball. I think, was it Dean Huijsen who was dribbling out with the ball? I can't remember, but Brahim gets the ball and then crosses it on his left foot for Fede Valverde, who was somehow unmarked, who had an unmarked run into the box, and then a good finish as well. Makes up for his missed penalty, to be honest. Pachuca scored one later on. I think it was a deflected shot. Nothing Courtois could have done about that. So yeah. Let's talk about the individual team. Speaking of Courtois, my man of the match, I thought he was incredible. I believe Jude Bellingham got it. I think he deserved it as well, to be honest. But for me, Thibaut Courtois, the best keeper in the world. I've been saying it for a while now. Um, people often, whenever there is a new man in town, Donnarumma or Martinez or whoever, who had a good game or a good tournament, people often look at those keepers. But Courtois is doing it week in, week out, every game, and he's been doing it for years now, and approximately 7 years. So Thibaut Courtois, I think, is the best keeper in the world. Simple, right? Um, that double save and just the 10 saves he made in general. What a keeper! So glad to have him. He will be signing a new contract as well. So very, very excited. For keepers, usually, the older you get, the better you are in terms of the experience. And he's not 40, he's not 42. He is still only 33. So he has still probably got another 3 or 4 years left in him. To be honest, I think keepers can go up to 36, 37. But yeah, I think we've got a great keeper in him, and we've got a good backup in Lunin. But however long Lunin might stay, who knows, right? Trend. Now, I was going to talk about this, like I said. Um, yeah, my big issue here is when he put that low driven cross into the box and he got intercepted the first time round, and Pachuca got on the counter attack. If you watch Trent closely, he was jogging back, maybe even walking back. Now that is totally unacceptable for a right back. We saw Traoré, we saw um, Hoyson, we saw everyone running, rushing back to try to close down the shot, right? And then Trent's jogging. Now, it's only his second game, but that could be a habit that he has had for a while now, maybe. If it isn't, then he shouldn't, start having that habit. If it is, we need to take that out of his game because it's unacceptable. Not only did he lose the ball, but even if he didn't lose the ball, he should still be giving his 100% to make sure he runs back to close down the counter, to win the ball back, whatever it may be, to stop the attack. You know, but nonetheless, apart from that, I thought he had a great game. But that is a side of his game, which we know he struggles with defensively. But effort is not something. Effort is not talent. Effort is not skill. Those sort of things. Defensively, if he isn't skilled at defending, okay, that can be adapted, that can be taught, and that can be learned across, a while, a period of time. But first of all, effort must be there. And the jogging, unacceptable. You have to be sprinting for your life, basically, right? And I know it's hot. I know he might be tired, but you have to be, really giving it all. Asensio, like I said earlier on, Dean Hoyson once again another brilliant game from him. What a star we have! What a gem! Fran Garcia was brilliant. And yeah, offensively contributed a lot. Defensively, not a lot to worry about as well. But we know that he is very fragile still. Um, Arregule was very, very good. Great goal. He deserves this sort of game time. So yeah, let him shine. We've got Traoré in there. Surprisingly, again, I thought he didn't play too bad, but not too spectacular. Certainly, moving into centre back wasn't great. We know that is one of his weaker positions. I know he did perform there, but as a holding mid, I think he's better. And yeah, moving back certainly allowed a little more space for Pachuca. Bellingham was very, very good, great goal. Less frustrated at himself, at the referees, at the linesman, at everything. A little bit more calm from him. Fede Valverde, very good goal, made up for his penalty miss, like I said. Gonzalo Garcia, I thought was incredible as well, man. Brilliant back kill, brilliant assist for Arda Güler. He, like I said, is a player that can go to the very top, but it takes time. It takes time. He's not gonna be that player overnight, but if you let him be the understudy and learn from the likes of Mbappe and the experienced striker that we hopefully will bring in, you can develop him into a very, very useful, very, very good backup option down the line. Vinny Jr. Surprisingly, we haven't even talked about Vinny Jr. in this video, and because it was a quiet game from Vinny, he wasn't heavily involved in a lot. But what I did like was a bit more effort. A little less um, hot head, a little less complaining, just a bit more team play, passing the ball more, getting involved in attacks, getting involved in trying to win the ball back. The effort is there where we can see. Hopefully, Xabi Alonso has told him and will continue to tell him that if he can put in that same mindset back, the same effort back, he can be the best player in the world again. But he needs to get that confidence back. Modric came on, got the standing ovation. I still can't believe after this tournament he will leave a bit very sad. Ceballos came on, Brahim Diaz came on, got that assist. Rudiger came on, um, finally he's back. And Victor Munoz came on. Rodrigo did not come on, did not get involved. So yeah, could that be signs of him leaving? Who knows? I think our attacking lineup is very stacked, to be honest. Um, and we also need to remember Endrick as well, by the way. And yeah, with so many attacking options, I just don't know where Rodrigo might play. Does he want to be back up these days to Vinny, even on the left? Um, will he start on the right? Does he want to start on the right? Will Masantuono start on the right? Will Arda Güler start on the right? Will Brahim? Maybe not Brahim. Um, who knows? Who knows? But overall, most importantly, the win, the results, like I said, very important. But the performance, we are seeing gradual improvements. We're not at 100% yet, but give this team time. Like I said in the last review, and I'll end it off with this again, right? Xabi Alonso said this: we will end the tournament better than we start. And again, like I say, I relate to this. I agree with this 100%. We will be better in July if we make it then. But in the knockouts, we'll be better. If we get all the way to the quarter, the semis, the finals, we will be better definitely. Just wait. We've got the final group game coming up. We've got RB Salzburg. They are also joined top, so a win there will guarantee top spots. Um, yeah, will be exciting. But hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. Hit the button if you did. Subscribe to the channel on already, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.